And if you have a lighter pair of weights today, I would stick with that, probably 5 pounds or less. If not, you can get by with a little bit heavier, but pace yourself just because some of the movements we'll be doing today are a little bit different. If you have a couple of different pairs of dumbbells, one lighter and one more medium, that's great too. So our intervals today are going to be 35 seconds of work, followed by 22 seconds of rest. So we're gonna go ahead and start our warm up with some body weight movement. So for our first move, we're just gonna do big circles up and over with both arms going forward. And believe it or not, this one really gets your heart rate going. Even though it's just an upper body movement, you'll really feel your lungs open up. You'll start breathing more deeply. Let's go ahead and reverse it. Big circles up and over behind us. It's a double backstroke. Opening up our shoulders, our pecs, and our upper back. All right. Quick little break here. At first, it always feels long, but then you'll come to appreciate it. For the next move, we're going to try to keep our legs fairly straight, and we're going to kick out and then reach with the opposite arm. So if you can't reach your toe, that's okay. We're just going to kick and reach opposite arm, opposite leg. So you'll feel your core wake up, and your glutes and your hamstrings. Opposite arm, opposite leg. Trying to kick that leg up. We're still in warm-up mode, so you don't have to kick it super high. Just getting the blood flowing. Not too fast. One more second, and then take a break. So for our next movement, we're just going to practice doing a squat with perfect form without any weight. So we're going to bring our feet shoulder width apart or maybe a little bit wider. I like to point my toes slightly outwards because that can help protect your knee. And your squat, you want to think about sitting back in your heels. And so we're just going to squat with body weight at a nice moderate pace. We want to activate our glutes before we add weight. So if we can get our glutes fired up, the workout will be more effective and we'll feel better. So really visualize your glutes lining up in the bottom of your squat and then propelling you up when you lift out of that squat. All right, quick break. So today's intervals are a little oddly numbered. So we have 35 seconds of work followed by 22 seconds of rest, keeping that rest a bit shorter than our work interval. So our next warm up is going to be the side step with the half moon reach. That's our go. So just step and reach, and you can curl that top arm up and over if you want to really stretch out your lats and your upper back and get a nice deep stretch. So if you see me running towards the screen today, it's because I wrote my workout notes in blue dry erase marker, and it's hard to see on my whiteboard. The black ink ran out. So if I'm coming towards the screen, don't be alarmed. I just can't see the blue as well. All right, so that was round one of the warm up. We're going to do that one more time before we pick up our weights. So now all the muscles have been activated. So if you want to go a little bit faster or include a little bit more range of motion, you can do that. We're going to start with our big arm circles, going forward, lifting the heart rate. And remember, the more we can lift the heart rate in the warm up, the easier the actual workout will feel than if we just jump straight into it. And then go ahead and reverse, arms coming up and back. Pay attention here. If one side feels a little bit more tight than the other, Couple more. Take a break. All right, so now we're back to our straight leg kicks. Opposite arm, opposite leg. So this time you might be able to kick up a little bit higher. The blood's flowing. And maybe you can reach a little bit further down your leg. If you couldn't reach to your ankle, maybe now you can, or maybe even your toe. All right, so kicking straight out, reaching with the opposite arm, imagining your core muscles zipping up and assisting you with this movement. Working our balance too, as always. All right, we're going to work on our body weight squats. If you were in functional class yesterday, your legs might be a little tired. We did some hard squatting movements. So hopefully this kind of gets the blood pumping and loosens up any soreness you might have. So feet apart, weight in the heels. This time, let's try to sink a little bit deeper into our squat. And imagine that string on the top of your head, holding it high to the ceiling. Maybe you can go half an inch lower. Try to distribute the weight evenly on both legs. One more. All right. We have one more warm-up move, and that's our side step and reach. This round, I'm going to go a little bit faster, and then it'll be time to grab some water and pick up our weight. Deep breath into your belly. All right, so we're going to side step and arc that arm over. A crescent moon, a half moon, up and over the head to stretch out our lats. If you want to add a little speed to this, you can. Still emphasizing the stretch. For our main set today, we'll be doing total body per usual. And our goal will be 2 to 3 rounds. We'll see how we're feeling. All right, grab a quick sip of water, and then you'll want to have your lighter pair of weights ready. At least for this round, try with your lighter pair of weights, and then you can see if you want to move up and wait for the second round. So for this first movement, we're going to squat back and then raise the weights up and overhead. So weights are on the outsides of my legs, squatting back. These are called skier swings. So I'm pushing back with my arms as I stand out of the squat. My arms are just coming right above my head. I know you can't see the very top of my hands, but they're just raising up to the sky. Take a break. Heart rate should really be pounding. This next one, feet about shoulder width apart. We're going to bend our knees a little bit, tuck our hips under. It's going to be a thumbs up movement. And we're actually going to bring one foot forward. Let's bring one foot forward, our right foot forward this time. The right foot forward, left foot back. And then my hands are just touching the dumbbells together at the top and making a big circle, ending at my hips. We're touching together overhead and then ending at my hips. And right foot's forward, knees slightly bent, left foot back, and kind of up on my left toe. And at the hyperextend your spine here, get nice and neutral. So for this round, everything that's in a split stance will lead with our right leg, and then the next round will lead with our left. So for this next exercise, It's going to be an alternating row. So the first one, you're going to do a neutral grip. Then you're going to switch to underhand and flip it back to neutral. So your knees are bent, hinging at the hips. So fingertips close to body and then underhand. So you're just flipping your grip, but everything else is staying the same. So underhand, side body. Staying in that hip hinge position the whole time. Flipping your grip. So you'll feel it more in your biceps with the underhand and more in your back with the neutral. Take a break. We only need one weight for this next one, coming down to our mat. And we're going to be doing a push-up, so you can do these on your knees or toes. So in between every push-up, you're going to do a row. So it'll look like this. You're going to do a push-up, then row back with one side. That's our go. And then push-up, row back with the other side. So you can do this from your knees the whole time. Push-up, row, push-up, row, alternating sides. One at a time. Lots of upper body and core. Good work. Coming back onto your feet with both weights. Catching your breath. Some deep breaths. We're going to go into a squat hold position. Oh no. So feet wide. Then we're going to squat down and we're going to curl from here. Underhand grip. You might have done these last week, so if they look familiar, we've seen this one before. And your squat depth is totally dependent on your range, your flexibility. So even if you're just halfway down in a quarter squat, that's fine. Underhand grip here for the curl. Coming back up. All right, so this next one, we're gonna pop the weights up to shoulder height. I'm gonna turn sideways to show you. It's gonna be a regular squat and then a deadlift, but with the weights at our shoulders. So regular squat and then deadlift where you hinge at the hips. So for your deadlift, keep your knees bent and slowly and carefully engage your hamstrings and then sit back down into your squat and come all the way back up and deadlift. Don't rush this one, protect your low back. If your low back is getting tight, bend your knees more for the deadlift. Great job. All right, we're gonna come down to the mat with both weights, bridge position. So that means our hips are up, knees are bent, and we're gonna do bridge repeats with both arms up. So the arms are just gonna stay up the whole time, but at the beat, we're gonna push through our heels, then lower our butts all the way back down. So arms are just overhead. So we're focusing on our glutes and our low back, pressing through both heels, lowering down. Taking some deep breaths here. Squeeze the glutes for every breath. All right, lower those weights. Carefully sit up. We're going to come back to our feet with both weights. Feet are going to be even. We're going to do a split lateral front raise. So what it looks like is one arm is forward, one arm moves laterally. And then we're rotating at the shoulders. And this is a split front and lateral raise. So knees are bent, hips tucked under, strong core. Try not to swing the weight. Try to originate that movement from the shoulders. And then we're going about eye level for both. Try to keep your pace. Take a break. All right, so place one dumbbell to the side. You're going to grab the other dumbbell by either end. And we're going to be doing a squat with the chest press. So you bring the weight up to your chest. And as you squat, you're going to press forward. So you still have a couple seconds to bring the weight up. And as you squat, you're going to press straight forward. And then allow the weight to come back in as you stand. So sitting back through the heels. Pressing out with your single weight. Don't hyperextend your back. Just press out until you feel your shoulders engage. A lot of muscle groups working together here. Take your time. Great job. Sip water as you need to. You have plenty of time. I'm going to turn sideways again to demonstrate this one. This time it's a deadlift with the weight out front. The knees are bent. And then we're going to go into an upright row under the chin. So knees are bent. We're going to reach forward, then row underneath the chin. So again, your deadlift, you might not touch the floor, and that's okay. You want to bend until you feel the hamstrings engage. Those are the big muscles in the back of your legs. And then rowing up and under the chin. We've done this one before, so it might look familiar. Make sure your hamstrings are doing the work, not your low back. Bend those knees. Right. Take a break. We're going to go back to our split stance, right foot forward. Left foot back, and I'm kind of popped up on my left toe. My right knee slightly bent. We're going to have a neutral grip, which means the fingertips face the ears. And from here, we're going to press up alternating sides. So from here, when you lower down, try to lower at about a 90-degree angle. So right about shoulder height. Try not to let your arms come down too far below your shoulders. You want to keep the tension high. You don't want to be down here. You want to keep that 90-degree angle in the elbows. One at a time. Rest your arms. We're going to stay with this split stance. Right foot forward this round. And we're going to do a deadlift row. So we're here, row, stand. So deadlift, row, stand. We're really activating the back of our legs today. Deadlift, double row. Sorry, deadlift, row, then stand. Sorry if I threw you off. Deadlift, row, stand back up. And we'll do the other leg next round. So just focus on this right leg for now. So tilting forward, completing the row up and down, then standing back up. Really great job. We have a couple more, and then we'll take a long break. So now we have a squat, curl to press. So feet are wide, underhand grip. So it's going to look like a squat, curl, press at the beep. So arms start out low. So that's our beep. I'm curling as I stand up. And then as I press, my arms flip. So it's underhand and they flip over and face the screen. Great, keep up that pace. Sitting back in the heels, pressing up overhead. All right, let's get this last one, and then we'll take a break. So split stance, right foot forward, up on that left toe. This time we're coming to the front of our body, and we're going to be doing punches. So about 5 seconds, you can relax a little bit. All right, now we're ready. So punching up at a slight angle, rather than straight forward, we're going up and out a little bit. You find your speed here. Working towards that rest break. 15 more seconds. Keep going, this one burns. And rest. I'm gonna turn off the timer for a little bit so we can take a little bit longer of a break. So that was round one. Now you have an idea of whether you want to keep your lighter weights or if you want to have a pair of heavier weights as well on deck. This round, we're going to try to do our left foot forward and all of the split stance exercises. All right, so make sure you had some water. Take a couple more breaths. And let's go ahead and make our way back to that skier swing position, wide legs, weights on the outside of our bodies. So from here, we're going to sit back and then arms come up and over. So you can use your momentum here. You can use those hips to pop up and swing up and over. So it actually feels kind of good. It's challenging, but it also feels good. At the top, I'm just letting the arms come all the way up with control. Nice work. So we're going to go into our first split stance. So left foot forward this time. Right foot's back. So popped up on that right toe. And we're going to do palms up, thumbs up. And we have our arc. So we're going to arc our hands overhead and back down to hip level. If your shoulder starts to hurt, you don't have to arc quite as high. But if it feels good, you can lightly touch the weights at the top and then arc back down, using all of your shoulder and your core. Take your time. Take your breaths. Great job. All right, so this is where we come back to our mat with just a single dumbbell. We have our push-up row. So we're going to do a push-up between every row, alternating sides. You can definitely place that mat underneath your knees to modify. We're going to go here in about 3 seconds. I'm going to start with the push-up. That's our go. And then row, push-up, and then opposite arm. Keeping that elbow close to your side body. Keeping the hips level. Unless you're on your knees, you'll have a little bit of an arc. Great work. Take your time. We're slowly going to stand up. We do need both weights. We have our squat, hold, curl. So wide stance. Remember, you find your depth for this squat. I bring my feet pretty wide so I have room for my curl. And it's an underhand curl. So legs are definitely working, even though they're not moving. Work on your deep belly breaths. So our legs are doing what we call an isometric hold, which builds a lot of strength and power, while our arms are working through a full range of motion. So lots going on here. Deep breath. Oh. Shake those legs out a little bit. Next, we have our double row. So we're going to bend the knees and then hinge the hips. So we're working against gravity. And this is where we go neutral to an underhand. So tilt forward, neutral row, underhand, working against gravity. One side at a time, or both sides at a time, one row at a time. There we go. So just flipping the arms, staying in the same position elsewhere. Great work. Shake those legs out again. And now we have that shoulder height squat to deadlift. So we're changing our center of gravity a bit. We're going to bring the weights up to our shoulders. And so we're going to squat, stand all the way up, and bend those knees and tilt forward. So work at a controlled pace. Remember, bend those knees for your deadlift. Back your legs and glutes are on fire. Good work. All right, coming down to the mat, both weights. We have our bridge repeats with our arms up above us at chest level. So the arms aren't moving, they're just holding the weight. We're drawing the heels up close to our body. And at the beat, we're just going to extend our arms overhead and then bridge repeats. So pushing through the heels, then lowering all the way back down to the floor. So really dig those heels in. You can even lift the toes to make sure you're hitting the right muscles. Try to work both sides equally. Don't let the dominant side take over. Deep breaths here. And then bring the weights down, bonus sit up. And we're coming back to our feet. We'll need both weights. We have our split front lateral raise. So feet are about shoulder width. Knees bent. We're going to have one arm forward, one arm to the side, hitting about eye level for each. And rotating at the core and in the shoulders. Lower body is a statue. Taking our breaths. Nice controlled pace here, no momentum, no swinging. If you find yourself swinging, you might want to lower the weight or just practice with body weight. That's still effective. All right, taking a break. All right, we have our deadlift to upright row. So we are going to have the weight in front of us this time. Knees bent, reaching forward, throwing underneath the chin. So remember, everyone's reach depth is going to be different. The feet semi-wide, knees bent, reaching for the deadlift, rowing under the chin. 2 for 1. Engage those hamstrings. Almost there. Keep that form. All right. And remember, you can always set the weights down between sets and shake out your hands too. We're definitely building that grip strength. So the next one we have our split stance. So left leg forward, right leg back. And this is the one where we bring both arms up to shoulder height. Fingertips facing the ears, so that's our neutral grip. And then one at a time, trying to make a 90-degree angle. Trying not to let the shoulders fall or the elbow dip down too low. That's the main mistake people make when doing this one. So try to keep your 90-degree angle if possible. We tuck that chin down, protect your neck, and just work through this one. Okay, we're going to keep that split stance with the left leg forward. This is the one where we deadlift and row. So we're going to row up and down, then stand back up. So it's deadlift, up and down, stand back up. So you have a little bit of time. Left foot forward, right foot back. Deadlift, complete the full row, and then stand. The left leg really getting most of the work as well as our upper back. More than halfway. Looking good. All right, take a break. Couple more and we'll take our longer break. We're getting close. For the next one, we're going to go wide legs, underhand. We have our squat, curl, double press. So this is where the arms slip around from underhand to overhead. So feet are wide, underhand grip. For our curl, and we flip it around and press overhead. Once you get the hang of it, you can make it a little bit more fluid. Breathing. Looks great. Keep it up. All right, and then we have those punches for the last one before break. So left foot forward, right foot back. We popped up on that right toe. We still have a few seconds, but we're going to bring the weights up. And then instead of punching straight forward, fingertips face one another, and we're going slightly up at an angle. If your weights are light enough, you can go for some speed. Otherwise, just pace yourself. More than halfway here. And relax. So we're going to stop the timer again for a little bit of an extended break. We definitely have time for a third round. So grab some water. So this time for our split stance, we will try to switch halfway through the exercise. Keep our bodies guessing. So whatever the split stance, I'll try to tell you when to switch legs as we work through this set. A couple more deep breaths. All right. We're going to keep going while our heart rates are still somewhat up. So go ahead and get into your ready position. We're going to start with our swings. So both weights, feet wide, weights on the outside of the legs. We're going to sit back and then pop those weights up. This is our final round. So you can really give it all you got as far as energy levels. Maybe add a little speed if you're feeling good and your form is down. Great work. We have our lateral arcs. So we're going to start with our right foot forward, drawing our arc, and then we're going to switch our stance halfway through. So deep breath, right foot forward, and we're going to arc, thumbs up position, hip level, and I'm lightly tapping the weights overhead. If that's too much for your shoulders, stop where it feels okay. So kind of drawing a big circle. Which feet? So arms stay the same. We switch our stance from one leg forward to the other leg forward. Great work. We have our alternating row with the push-up. So mat underneath the knees, one dumbbell underneath the middle of your chest. We're going to start with the push-up, then alternating row. When you row, lead with the elbow. Get ready and push up. Lead with the elbow, push up, and then switch sides for the row. About 10 more seconds. All right, we got it. Slowly coming back up. You'll need both weights. We have our squat, hold, and curl. So feet can go extra wide here. That's the most squat stance. We're gonna find our squat depth, hold it while we curl with that underhand grip. So find your depth, sit back and relax. Weight in the heels. And if you need to, you can always come out of it for a second and then get back in. We're more than halfway. Full range, focus on those curls. Whew, we did it. As you come out, it's a little bit normal to feel a little bit of dizziness. So shake out the legs. Take your time. We are going into our rows. So bending the knees, tilting forward at the hips to hinge. So we have that neutral row and the underhand row. So walk your body into position. And then you're just switching the wrist. Gaze should be slightly ahead of you on the floor. Less than 10 seconds. Keep the momentum. Keep your pace. And come on out. Next, we have our shoulder height squat to deadlift. So we're just changing our center of gravity a bit. We pop those weights up and we do a full squat and then a deadlift. So feet are a little bit wider than shoulder width. So we're going to squat first, come all the way up, bend the knees, and tilt. And now we know the move. We can work on form and range of motion. Well done. Let's come on down to the floor. And then knees are bent. Arms are going to be straight up overhead above our chest, holding our weights. And we're going to do the bridge repeat. So pressing the arms up, and then pushing through the heels, lowering all the way back down, engaging the entire lower back side of our body. Get some nice deep breaths in here. Squeeze your glutes at the top, and then lower all the way back down to the floor. Arms are just straight overhead, not moving. All right, bonus sit-up or side roll up. Coming back up to our feet with both weights. Feet together, a little bit apart. We have our alternating front and lateral raise. So hitting that eye level or so. Lower body is a statue. We're rotating in the core and the shoulders. All right, well done. Place one weight to the side. We might have skipped this one last time, so you guys got lucky. It's our squat with the chest press. So we're going to hold on either side of the weight. And as we squat, we'll press out. As we stand, we'll bring the weight back in. So we have a few seconds to bring that weight up. Squat, and bring it back in. Keeping good form, not hyperextending anywhere. Nice and controlled. Looks great. Keep it up. Strong grip. Whew. All right, let's grab that other weight. A lot of deadlifting today, so we'll stretch out and cool down at the end. So we have our deadlift to upright row. Weights in the front this time, knees are bent. So we reach forward, come up, row underneath the chin. All right, here we go. Remember, we're not just reaching with the arms, we're bending the hamstrings, the legs. So if you're not touching the floor, that's fine. You just want to feel a deep stretch in your hamstrings before you row back up. Everyone's deadlift anatomy is a little different. Wonderful job. All right, now we have some of our split stance. So let's start with the right foot forward. We'll switch halfway through. So this is going to be our neutral grip press where the fingertips face the head. And we try to keep that 90-degree angle in our elbows. So right foot forward to start, elbows up. That's our go. I'll tell you when to switch feet. Upper body will stay the same. We'll try not to skip a beat here. All right, switch feet. Now that left leg's forward, up on the right toe. Getting heavy. And release. Good work. All right, so now we have our split stance deadlift, full row, come back up. So we're going to do half and half. Starting with that right leg forward. There's many ways you can do this one, but we're going to do deadlift first, full row, then back up. So deadlift forward, row up and down, then pop up. Right legs forward. Get one more. We're going to switch to the left leg. So deadlift, left leg forward, row up and down, back up, deadlift, full row, pop back up. All right, that one felt a lot easier, splitting it up. Now we have our squat curl press. So we're going to do wide legs, starting with underhand grip and the weight low. So flip the hands around, palms facing your screen. We're going to start in our squat, curl, flip it around into a press. Now that you have it down, you can maybe do it a little bit more fluidly. Looks great. Keep it going. Getting close to the end here. All right, last weighted movement. We have our split stance punches. We'll change our legs halfway through. So we're going to start with our right leg forward, left foot back. And remember, fingertips face each other. And we're punching a little bit up and out at an angle. All right. Let's try to switch feet halfway through without skipping a beat on the punches. You can kind of burn it out. That last weighted movement. All right, switch feet. Try not to fall over. 10 seconds, here we go. And done. Great job. You can put those weights to the side, out of your way. Grab some water. We're going to cool down. Make sure you get a few sips of water, and then we'll keep moving. All right, we're back up on our feet. We're just going to do some nice and easy side steps. Side to side. Getting our breath back a little bit. When you're really fatigued, try to keep moving. Try not to sit down or lean over. This will help bring our breath back and facilitate a faster recovery. And of course, whenever we're lifting weights especially, we're causing little micro tears in our muscles, which sounds scary, but it's actually really beneficial if we're hydrating properly, take a break, and eating enough protein. We can build back the muscle to be stronger. So it's completely normal if you're a little bit sore the next day or two. Just take some gentle walks. If you have a foam roller, that's a great tool. We had somebody suggest maybe a foam rolling session one of these days, which would be great. We're going to lead with the heel and sweep down. And we're going to alternate heels. So really stretching through our hamstrings because we did a lot of deadlifting today, which is something that's hard to work with just body weight. So when we add our weights in there, we can really work our hamstrings and glutes really effectively. But we want to stretch out because when we sit throughout the rest of our day, our hamstrings and calves can get really tight. Good work. And today at 10, we do have a brief Q&A session, about 30 minutes. We've got a couple of questions in this week. If you want to tune in for that, you can. Deep breath. We're going to do some knee hugs next. So we're going to pick one knee up, give it a little squeeze. If you can't quite balanced long enough for the hug, that's okay. You can march and just lift that knee up as high as you can. So it takes a lot of balance, especially when your muscles are fatigued. You might be feeling a little shaky. About 10 more seconds. Good job. For our next one, we're going to bring the feet almost to like a squat-like stance. We're going to go hands on the hips, and we're going to draw big hip circles to the right. So we're just going to go clockwise this round. Then we're going to go through the cool down another round, and we'll go counterclockwise. So feet are wide, knees are soft, which means they're a little bit bent. And we're really going to draw those hip circles around to the right. Pushing back through our hips. So again, we're getting a good hamstring stretch. Giving our hips some attention. Now that we're nice and warm, we can really get into those tight spots. Good, keep it going. All right, take a break. We're gonna go through that cool down one more time just to give our bodies a nice big cool down before we head into the weekend. So we're just gonna go back into our side-to-side steps. If you want to on these, you can add an elbow pull back to stretch out your lats and your shoulders. We worked those quite a bit today too. You can pull those elbows back as you step. For me, I always feel tightness in that right side from using the mouse on the computer all day. So really pay attention to those tight spots. Maybe do some extra stretching after we're done. Still nice and easy. We're focusing more on the stretch than the speed here. All right, and then this time, instead of reaching for one heel at a time, we're going to kick a heel out and just hold our reach for half of the time and then switch sides. So you don't have to touch the floor or even your foot. I just want you to find a nice balanced position where you can stick that heel into the ground and then reach however far you can. And we're going to hold it for half of the interval. Nice static stretch. So you always want to save your static stretches for after the workout and do your more flowy, dynamic stretches before. All right, let's switch sides. Now I'm popping that left heel out. Same thing. Make sure you find a balanced position. Your low back will feel this as well. So when we do our deadlifts, you will have a little bit of low back engagement. Up. That's inevitable, but we want to make sure it's mostly focused in the hamstring. So it takes a lot of practice. So from here, we're going to go into our knee hugs. And again, if you can't quite balance to get that knee hug, you can march, lifting the knee. That's still going to stretch out your hip flexors. All right. And about halfway through this interval, we can attempt a side knee hug, which is going to get more of our gluteus medius. All right, so for the side knee hug, you can kind of bring that heel up and out, almost like you're playing hacky sack. So again, if you can't quite squeeze here, you can just tap and release. All right. Shake it out. All we have left is our hip circles to the left. So this time we're going to go counterclockwise to find a nice big stance. Knees are soft, which means they're a little bit bent. So in sports, this is kind of your ready position, so you can move any direction quickly. All right, so we're going to go around to the left. Pressing through the hamstrings and low back. Nice big circles. addressing those sore spots. All right, we're all done. So I'm going to turn off the recording and see if we have any quick questions before I go.